Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hormone Hacker Revolution. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Sands, and throughout this event, my goal is to educate you, inspire you, and empower you to balance your chemistry so you can have more energy, less fat, better sex, and you can really enjoy your life, because that is what we really want. We just want to enjoy life. We don't want to deal with all the issues. We just want to live our life and have fun. So today we are going to be talking about how to handle your hunger hormones and how to use exercise to boost your hormone health. We have an amazing guest today. Ramos is an MD. She specializes in physical medicine and rehabilitation, and she has a medical practice in Southern California. But she's also competed as a fitness athlete for over 20 years. I think that's really cool because a lot of times you go to a doctor and they're really out of shape and they're telling you how to be healthy. So this is somebody who really knows, and she actually lives what she knows, and that's the kind of people I like to put in front of you. She's also a fitness trainer. She's worked with single moms, she's worked with professionals, and she's even worked with celebrities. And she's a little bit of a celebrity herself. You might have seen her on the Doctor's TV show. She's been on American Gladiators and The Bachelor Paris. She also contributes to a lot of online and in-print publications, including Oxygen magazine. So, Dr. Ravinas, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to speak to you. Welcome to the Hormone Hacker Revolution.
I thank you. I am truly excited to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. So cool. So, I think it's really unique that you actually live the fitness and wellness lifestyle along with helping people, rehab from their injuries and live a healthy life. So can you talk a little bit about how you got started in fitness competitions and then what you're doing now that helps your clients and patients to live that healthier life?
Well, actually, I started in fitness competitions a little over 20 years ago now.
You don't even look that old. You're a baby.
So I was back in medical school is when I started. But I guess that's what the fitness lifestyle does for you. It keeps you looking young.
True.
It was actually on a dare that I started fitness competitions from a fellow medical student. We were hanging out on South Beach. I went to medical school at the University of Miami, and they saw it on a TV screen, the Fitness America competition. They said, "I dare you to try that." I was like, "Sure, I'll do it." I'm a little bit of a daring fool in that regard. I just accepted the challenge without really knowing what I was going to be doing, just kind of seeing a few clips on television. But as I researched
it, fairly healthy. Were you already athletic at the time?
Well, at the time I did do sports. I had done sports in high school, and then in college, just participating in the intramural type of activities that they have in college. So I like to try to keep up and maintain a healthy lifestyle, and I was a bit of a competitor. I liked playing the various sporting activities. So doing a fitness competition, it just went right along with that. It was a competition, so let's do it. So it was great because I researched, I went online, and I Yahooed. At the time, Yahoo was the way you looked up everything, all about the fitness competition, and I learned what you had to do, and I saw recordings, VHS recordings of previous competitions, and I just got a typical dance choreographer. I hired one to create a routine for me to start working on. I was lucky because I was a med student at the time, so finances weren't huge. So I found one who would work for me for $15 an hour. I remember very distinctly.
Oh, wow.
It was great. Just they thought it was a fun thing too. And that was the start. I got on stage. My very first competition was a televised competition. And interestingly enough, I realized that even though I'm naturally dark-skinned color, or on the tanner side, I was the lightest person on camera because everybody in fitness competitions gets these really dark tans. I didn't know that. So on TV, I looked like the lightest person on stage. Oh, well, but it was fun. And of course, it was so much fun. It's led me to continue competing on even over these past 20 years.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. And you know, doing those type of competitions, it's a pretty strict regimen that you have to follow, because it's not just how you're going to walk around and be healthy, but it's really about muscle composition and muscle sculpting and body fat and water.
You really try to shape the physique. And while you're trying to do that, you're trying to maintain the energy to do a complete fitness routine, which could be anything from cartwheels, one-arm push-ups, doing the splits, flipping. I didn't do a whole lot of flipping because I'm not a gymnast, but
you can't just walk up on stage and pass out, right? You can't just pass out.
Exactly. So it's a delicate balance of what you're trying to show and what you're trying to achieve.
Wow. So we're not talking about being fitness models today. We're not talking about getting, I mean, you could though. So, definitely talk to Dr. Venus if that's something that you are interested in doing. But if you just want to be a better version of you, if you want to feel more energetic, if you want to be happier, if you want to feel fitter and be fitter than you already are, then, there's a couple things that you have to get in balance. And one of them is your hormones, for sure. So one of the things that prevents a lot of women, a lot of my patients, and even me a little earlier in my life from really achieving my weight loss goals and my health goals was these cravings and giving into hunger. Even though I knew what I had to eat, and I had the meal plans and I had all the tools, the doing is really hard. So how is having the munchies related to our hormones?
Well, when you have the munchies, it can almost be related to, there's a couple of hormones. Actually, there are several hormones which go into controlling your hunger. But you can basically boil it down to two for the purposes of this discussion, to keep it a little bit more simplified.
Right.
So we have leptin and ghrelin. Those two hormones try to stay in balance to keep you in balance. Ghrelin is a hormone which is primarily secreted from the lining of your stomach, and that actually is the hunger hormone. It's what says, I'm hungry, I need to eat now. And when you have the munchies, oftentimes that may be because that ghrelin level has increased or even spiked. The leptin, however, on the other hand, is a hormone that is primarily produced in fat cells, and that hormone is responsible for kind of telling you, stop, we've had enough to eat, I'm full, you can stop eating now. So that's your satiety hormone, so to speak. So you have a nice balance of your ghrelin and your leptin, hopefully not causing you to have munchies, but sometimes they can get a little bit out of whack. And that's when we need to focus on rebalancing. Your body actually wants to stay balanced. That's why
I say that all the time. You don't believe me, right? Your body really wants you. And those hunger hormones, the ghrelin, the leptin, they're there actually for survival. Like, we don't realize, like, we have that hunger hormone to tell us to eat so we don't starve to death. It's like an evolutionary thing that's there for survival. But, like, I know there's a lot of people listening say, how can I get rid of that hormone altogether? Like, how can I have that? But, when you have them in balance, it's not a problem because the leptin satisfies you. Like, think of your kids, like, when you have little toddlers, they will literally stop eating, like, mid-bite because they're like, boom, I'm full, I'm satisfied. They don't have the rules. They don't have the, oh, but I may not get to eat this again, or all these things we tell ourselves that make us eat more than we need. And they're not emotional about food. Like, we tend to get emotional about food, which is a different reason why you might have the munchies, not related to actual hunger. So it's important to know that. But talking about hunger, like, these get out of whack, and then we might be actually hungry more than we should. And that is not how your body is meant to be. It's not how it wants to be. So I love that you said your body wants to be in balance. That's totally, totally true.
Yes, it absolutely wants to be in balance, which is sometimes why it can be so difficult to go on a diet, because when you go on a diet, you start restricting your calories, and those hormones, which have kind of gotten used to where they were, they're saying, oh, you're restricting my calories. Oh, no. And then that throws them off whack. So no longer are you getting those hormones where they're supposed to be in order to keep you from having the munchies. So as you're losing weight, you may be feeling more hungry, and that's when yo-yo dieting can occur, because your body is trying to keep you in what they thought was balanced.
Right. So what do we do? How do we avoid that? If we are going from maybe an unhealthier diet or a diet where we're actually consuming, oh, sorry about that, my office phone is ringing.
No worries.
Okay. So how do we go from, if we're either eating larger portions and more calories than we should, or eating the wrong foods, we are like being good, like I'm going to take on this new healthy lifestyle, I'm going to eat less of the bad stuff, and now our body's telling us to eat more. Like, what do we do?
Well, there's a few things that you can do, because you've already made the decision to start eating the right things. But again, it's all about creating the entire healthy lifestyle. So there are a few things where you have to maybe look at other aspects of your life, just not the food, in order to try to rebalance those hormones and not get them fighting you. Trying to keep you back in what they thought it was the proper balance, but you're trying to re-educate your body. So I would say a lot of it has to do with stress management. Trying to keep your body balanced in terms of the amount of stress that you're throwing at it. So a lot of stress management can help, because stress itself can increase your ghrelin levels, which is oftentimes why you may start to get the munchies, because you're stressed.
Yeah, so you can even, like, for those people listening, like, you can even, like, think about the times when you actually binge eat or overeat. A lot of times that is because you're thinking about something stressful, or you might even be watching, like, a thriller or actions movie or something, and you're feeling that little bit of stress, and you can notice yourself just, like, eating at a faster pace. And so, yeah, it's really important to kind of think about, like, when you're eating, like, why you're eating, and isolating that. But even just being stressed all day from a job, coming home, you could be hungrier. So what's your favorite stress reduction tips or techniques that people can put in place?
Well, there's a lot of things that you can do. Sometimes I like to say meditation, but not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be a long session of meditation where you have the music floating in the background and you have all of your positive affirmations lined up. You don't necessarily have to do that, although if you can do that, is great. I like to think of just soothing your mind for a few minutes. Just clear your mind. Focus on things that bring you happiness. I like to tell people.
Sometimes people think about clearing your mind and like, I can't clear my mind. I got too many things in my mind. But if you focus your attention on happy things, that's a great tip right there.
Yeah. So I really like to tell people just to kind of try to go back to a time where you were so happy and so involved that time just flew by. If you get yourself to that point, that's the beauty point. That's exactly where you want to be in terms of focusing on something that's not stressful.
And the other thing that affects your hunger hormones is sleep, right? So
Correct.
How does sleep, if you're not getting a lot of sleep, how does that affect you and make you more hungry?
Definitely, if you're not getting enough sleep, that too can increase your ghrelin levels. The primary goal when you're trying to get enough sleep, there's two actually. One is get enough sleep in terms of hours. So the sweet spot is usually right around 7 hours. If you can at least get 7 hours of sleep, try to do that. And then the other thing is try to get your sleep earlier in the evening rather than falling to sleep later in the evening, because again, that's more stressful to your body when you stay up later and you go to bed at a later hour, like at the midnight hour. If you're able to get to bed maybe 9 or 10 o'clock and even wake up earlier in the morning, so you're still getting that same 7 hours of sleep, then that is less stress to your body. So not only are you affecting directly the ghrelin levels, you're also affecting the stress levels on your body, because the hours of sleep that you get before midnight tend to be more restorative type of sleep.
Yeah, and that's true. In Chinese medicine, they call that like the liver time, where your body is actually cleansing itself. But what I've noticed in my working with a lot of patients over the years and in my own personal health is that if you don't go to bed between that 9, 10-ish o'clock and you stay up past 11, you almost get a second wind. Like your body actually, that stress kind of wakes up and your body thinks there's a reason that you're up. Like, do you have to be on alert? Do you have to be watching for wolves, or the enemy troops are coming, or whatever it might be? And you get woken up again, then you have a harder time getting to sleep, and so it causes a cycle of even less sleep. So I think that is like really key when anyone's trying to balance hormones. Really getting to bed before 10 o'clock is huge.
It's a huge deal. And the other thing is, interestingly enough, if you have low ghrelin levels, that can actually interfere with sleep. So you might not want to try to go to bed right on a full stomach. So don't eat that big meal right before going to bed.
That's a really good tip. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about that before. And, a lot of times we think don't go to bed on a full stomach because you'll get a tummy ache, but that's a great reason not to go to bed on a full stomach. Awesome. Yeah, so, and then what I really want to talk to you about too is, since you're such a pro when it comes to exercise, do you have any specific exercise types or techniques or regimens that someone might follow after looking to, one, control hunger hormones, but then also for hormone balance in general? I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Well, when it comes to exercise, first addressing the hunger hormones, there are a multitude of studies out there all testing whether exercise will cause you to eat more afterwards because of an increase in your ghrelin levels or a decrease in your leptin levels. And they're all based on, again, a variety of things. You may have people who may be more obese and they may have leptin resistance, which is another topic that we haven't even gotten around to yet. So your body would be reacting a little bit differently in terms of the hormone levels that you have in response to exercise. And then some of them were done on very healthy average weight individuals. So there's a lot of noise out there in terms of which exercise is going to be best in terms of controlling your levels. One of the most interesting things I'll point out real quick is that there was one study that showed an influence of the mind, so independent of of exercise. So subjects were given basically a milkshake, and the milkshake had hidden in it about 620 calories. And the same milkshake was labeled 140 calories, I think. So, they were labeled at 620 calories and 140 calories, and they were both 300 calories. They fed them to these subjects, and the one that was labeled 620 calories, the subjects were later measured in terms of their ghrelin levels, and they had actually been lowered. They didn't want to eat more because they thought they were drinking a 620 calorie shake. The people who had 140 had at higher ghrelin levels.
Wow.
So they had the exact same shake, but the ghrelin levels, their bodies were telling them, oh, stop, you should not eat as much, or yes, you should eat more. So I thought that was a really interesting study in how much what you think you're eating can affect your ghrelin levels and your level of appetite. So that's just one thing to kind of put as an overview of this as I now talk about the exercise aspect. when you exercise, a lot of people will feel that they feel more hungry after they exercise because they just did a workout. Although there are some studies that show that ghrelin levels actually decrease, there are others that show that they increase. And it has a lot to do with the type of exercise you do. There are some studies that show doing high intensity interval training is best if you want to lower those ghrelin levels and increase your leptin levels. But again, over time, there's a training effect, and so everything can again balance out. So this kind of all goes back to your body kind of wants to stay in balance. So what I would say, as confusing as all of this sounds, is that doing some high intensity interval training initially to try to control those hunger hormones acutely after you exercise can be very helpful. Continuing an ongoing training regimen, there's a training effect where even the moderate type of exercise where you're doing like your typical 30 to 60 minutes on a treadmill or on a bicycle can also have the appropriate effect of decreasing the ghrelin levels and increasing the leptin levels. So overall, long story short, you need a variety of exercise in order to achieve hormonal balance. And then you need it to be consistent.
So are you saying that it's a similar effect in the research, whether you're doing like a high intensity interval training or you're jogging on a treadmill, or are you saying that if you mix it up, that's what your goal is?
I would say that the research is conflicting. That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to say.
I did pull up a bunch of studies a couple weeks ago when I was thinking of researching hunger hormones, and there's some saying that cardio will make your ghrelin go up and your leptin go up as well, and then there's conflicting studies. There seem like most of the studies agreed on the interval training, which it seems like that was proven by most people to have the best effect on hunger hormones. But, again, you have to figure in what you like to do, what you have access to. And I think, like you're right, mixing it up is going to give you the best results overall.
Overall, mixing up definitely will, because, again, when you're speaking strictly on hunger hormones, that's one aspect of your hormonal health. But you'll also get the benefits of the moderate exercise in terms of heart health. And all of that is also tied into what can balance your hormones. So there's a lot to consider when you want to promote the most optimal hormone health. That's why I say getting the mix of the high intensity interval training along with the more moderate 30 to 60 minute type of training is the best thing to do if you want to have the most optimal hormonal health.
How many times a week are you recommending your clients to work out who are looking to achieve hormone health?
Well, it's actually a very individual thing. That's how I approach every client. I make individual adjustments because it has to be something that they're able to stick to. Mm-hmm. Because the ultimate effect is the training effect of something that they're going to stick to over a very long term. And that's how, of course, you achieve the best balance. So sometimes I may need to start really super slow, and I'll just say, just stick in 25 minutes a day. And even if you're breaking it up into a 10-minute and 15-minute chunk, do that. If they feel like they're just totally overwhelmed with trying to do any type of training at all, I'll tell them just find 10 minutes here, another 15 minutes here, and we'll start with that. I'll say if you can just do that, I may start with 3 days a week. But for others, they can do the 25 minutes for 6 days a week. I usually will always recommend at least the one rest day. 25 minutes a day, 6 days a week is kind of where I start with everybody. and then I will kind of balance it out depending on what your actual habits are in life and where you're starting from.
Right. Yeah, it's so important to like meet people where they're at, and you know, the exercise program that's best is the one that you stick with and the one that you enjoy. You know, you have to enjoy what you're doing too, otherwise you're not going to do it. Awesome. Yeah, this is great. Do you have any other little tips for women when they're working out to avoid, you know, the common downfalls of like being overtrained or overstressed by their workout?
Well, again, I like to say, if you're able to do your workouts in the morning, it's just great overall for not just, it's great overall for hormonal health. When you say hormonal health, there's so many things that it can be affecting.
Everything. Overall health.
Overall health.
So
you have, I mean, it can affect your the risk of diabetes and that such, and things of that sort. So exercising first thing in the morning overall, without having to go into a lengthy explanation, is probably the best thing to do. And then maybe in the evening doing a nice little bit of yoga or meditation type of thing. I think that combination is the most ideal thing to do. It helps in terms of stress relief, and that type of plan helps in terms of more cardiac and prevention of diabetes. So there's a lot in that specific setup of your program. There is a few, I get asked a lot about doing fasting type of exercise, where you're doing fasting aerobic conditioning. And that, again, is something where I've looked into the research and I've tried it myself.
Right. That's really popular among the fitness competitor community.
Exactly. And it's something that can be done, and basically it's one of those things of, again, it's independent to you. So when someone asks me about it, I tell them, if it works for you and you're not finding yourself exhausted throughout the rest of the day, if you're not finding that you're getting these hunger cravings or these afternoon slumps, then go ahead and do the fasting cardio. But if it's something where it's really affecting your energy levels, then it's not working for you. Everybody's very individual when it comes to the fasted cardio phenomenon.
On that same kind of note, there's a lot of conflicting views on how soon after a workout you should consume a meal and what that meal should look like. Do you have a take on that you want to share with us?
Well, again, what you are eating right after a workout really depends on your goals. For a lot of physique competitors, which is the world I come from, they recommend immediately having some sort of protein, and if it's in the liquid form, even better, because then you can digest it better and really build up your muscle tone. Then there's also the thought that you should have some of your more easily digestible carbs at that point, so more sugar, so that you can also help fill out your physique. So that, for that purpose, that's definitely a good idea. And again, it also depends on how much you're looking to build. In a lot of cases, if you're just trying to look good for your swimsuit season, then that's not something you need to worry about.
So you can just eat when you get hungry. I remember when I first was a personal trainer going through college, like I had like my protein shake. As soon as I finished my workout, I had to drink it in the car because that was what they told me to do. But now I find, I'll just come home, I'll do whatever, and within 1 to 2 hours, I might have a meal. It's whenever I get hungry. And I think that's the best way to judge, like actually intuitively let your body tell you.
Exactly. Because your body wants to do what's good for you, or at least do what they think is in balance. And at that point, when you're doing your exercise and you're trying to eat right, your body will start to signal you when is the appropriate time to eat. And as long as you're keeping what you're putting in your body healthy overall in terms of a lean protein and the healthy fats and the right carbs, then you can't really go wrong in terms of the timing.
Yeah, I totally agree. It might be different on different days for the same person. Like you might have a day where maybe you got up a little earlier, or, you know, you had a little more stress, and maybe you'll get hungrier a little sooner, and that's okay. You know,
Absolutely. I truly believe that so much of living a healthy lifestyle and trying to stay balanced has to do with stress. And if you're stressed out about trying to eat 5 ounces of chicken breast at exactly 3 p.m. and at exactly 6 p.m., then it's not going to work. It's going to show up on your body. It's going to show up in your mood, and it's going to show up in your energy levels. So I truly believe that controlling stress is the most important part of trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, so that's so true. I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of times I know that there's people at home right now watching us who are trying to write down like everything so they can get it exactly right, and that is going to cause you more stress, right? Like, the overall message here is to listen to your body, like use the guidelines and use the information as tools, but really let your body guide you as to what it really needs. Once you've cleaned it up, all the crap out of your diet, once you clean up the toxins out of your house, once you get the crap and the GMOs and the processed foods out of your diet, because there's too much noise going on right then. When you have all those things, you can't listen to your body, or you're getting false signals. It's like the communication isn't working. But I think you're right. Once you live in a cleaner lifestyle, you're moving your body, you're getting your sleep, you're doing your meditation, you're having your clean foods, you're going to start hearing these messages from your body, and it's really going to be amazing.
Yeah, getting in touch with what your body's really trying to tell you, and clearing everything out so you can hear what your body is trying to tell you it's really wonderful when you're able to get to that point. And it's so much more stress-free when all you know you need to really know, because you already have the habits, is just to listen to your body.
Awesome. Well, this is great. I think you've given us so much great information, and just give us permission to just be okay, right? It's sometimes it's just like, you know, she gave me permission to like not be so crazy about what I'm putting in my body. And this is coming from someone who had to live a pretty strict lifestyle to get up there on stage. So being able to have that healthy mentality towards fitness and nutrition that's huge. And I think that's great coming from you. So you have a really good free gift for our audience, something really cool that they can download. You guys can download it by clicking the button below. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It is called my Commit to Fit Kickstart Package, and it basically gives you a little bit of everything you need to really kind of kickstart you towards a healthier lifestyle if you feel like you're kind of lost with all this overwhelming amount of information out there that's available on the internet and from family and friends. I give you basically a personalized fitness analysis, so you'll learn specifically for you about how many calories you should be eating, for the amount of exercise you think you can be doing. So it's information that's going to be very specific to you, so that personalized fitness analysis to start with. And then I'll give you a 30-day doctor-designed workout program, so you kind of have something that you can do, and you don't need to go to the gym for it. It's totally home exercise based. And then the third thing you get in the package is a quick start guide to the Dr. Venus diet. So some basic nutritional concepts to kind of get you going on toward a healthier lifestyle.
Now that is fabulous. That's so great to have, like, this package that you guys can download and just kind of get started. You don't have to figure out like what we were trying to tell you earlier. Like, it's all right there for you. So in case you're listening to this while you're driving, or you got the kids in the background, just put together a really great little package for you with exercise, nutrition, and I love the personalized analysis so that you can actually know like how to use this for you. And that I think is so important. And then Dr. Venus, you also have a really awesome membership for people who want to go beyond the 30 days. And I love that it's at home, it's easy, that you can implement into your life. Because a lot of times going to the gym and driving home like that, you could have done your whole workout in that time that you took just driving and driving back and getting ready and checking in and getting your locker. Like, you could be done. And
Exactly.
So that's really cool. So tell us a little bit about your membership that you offer.
Well, my fitness membership I'm really excited about because it's something that people can just take, and it's very organized in terms of the information that you get. I give you, again, a meal plan, recipes, so that you can continue with your nutritious eating and healthy lifestyle. I give you a fitness app where you can actually track your workouts and your meals so that you can do that on the go. You can take that on your phone and just figure out what you need to be doing. And it makes it very easy when you're able to just carry it on your phone. And I also provide you with some just group chat sessions with me where I actually come on live and can answer any of your questions every month. So as a member of my fitness membership site, you can chat with me and we can talk about your workout programs that you've scheduled on your fitness app. We can talk about where you might be struggling in terms of the food that you're eating. So it's just a great little membership site where we can just continue to support you.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. And I think community is really important when it comes to making any health change, like having someone there who can understand you and seeing what other people are doing as well. So that's awesome. Definitely check that out. Click the link below and you'll grab Dr. Vida's free gift and you'll be connected with her so you can see all the awesome stuff she has to offer. And if there's any of you out there who do want to get up on stage in a bikini and actually compete, she also offers that as well. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Vidas, for being here with us today. I thought that you're absolutely amazing. You had a lot of great tips and tools, and that you're really down to earth. And so you gave us permission to be ourselves. And thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk to all of you.
You are so welcome. And thank you guys all for taking the time out of your busy day to be here with us on the Hormone Hacker Revolution. I hope that you found as much value in this interview as I did. And I hope you do take action and download the free gift below. So thank you again so much, and we will see you soon. Take care.